Hey guys, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So my client here came in today for a transformation style. As you can see, she has a severe case of alopecia in the crown and also on the hairline. And in the crown area, it is actually scarred. How you can tell is by looking at the actual follicles and at the scalp level. But I don't want you guys to get this mixed up. I am not a physician, but I can, majority of the time, tell a little bit based on what I see. So we started off by cutting down her hair on the sides or in the sides and the back area using the clippers. I chose to use the clippers mainly just because I wanted to be fancy, but you can use your shears, you can use clippers, however. And then I went ahead and based her scalp using a scalp protectant base for a relaxer. Now, I decided that I was going to leave her top area unrelaxed, but then we came up with the idea that we were going to incorporate all of her hair that she had in the crown into the style. So we did go ahead and relax all of the hair instead of just the sides and the back. So you guys will get to see exactly how we were able to utilize all of her hair to make this style work for her. Now, for the sides and back area, I did need to use a lot of her hair to mask the hairline. As you guys can see, she does have a severe case of traction alopecia on the hairline in its entirety. And with that being said, how we mask the hairline is by over-directing the hair from areas where she did not have much trouble to make it mask the areas where she did have the trouble. This is something that basically you use your discretion on. There is no right or wrong way to do this. Every case is going to be different, as I say in all of my videos, because it is on a case-by-case basis. Not every client is missing hair or has lost hair in the same place. So you're really using your creativity or creative juices to make this work for your client. And you're basically going along with the blueprint as you see fit. Now for the wrap foam, I did use our Elite Silk wrap foam to hold down her mold down her sides and back area. Now, if you guys can previously remember from any of my videos, when I talk about the mold, it is very important because your foundation is key. You want to make sure that at this step of the process that you are covering any trouble areas that can be covered, that you are making sure you carve out your sideburns, and that you are making sure that the hair lays nice and smooth and flat. The good thing about the Elite Silk Wrap Foam is that I do not have to work as hard. It does not flake, and it doesn't leave that hair feeling hard or dull looking as some other foams may do. Now, for the sideburns area, as you know, I am using her hair to mask that area. So I want to make sure that I do go ahead and give her sideburns from now before I do anything else. And then for the crown of her head, usually you guys are used to me doing the liquid cap up there. But as I said, I'm going to incorporate her hair into the entirety of this style. So I did mold her hair going towards the face because I'm going to give her what we call a feathered bang. So even if she wants to not wear the feathered bang, she does have enough hair on the crown of her head that she is able to lay the hair down and do what we call a traditional mold without curling it and just make it nice and flat. So I didn't want to make it where she was unable to do anything on her own. Some clients don't have that luxury, but for her, it was an option. So we are going to utilize everything she has and make this work. And then we'll place her under the dryer for about 45 minutes. Now that she's thoroughly dried, if you notice the hair to the right of the nape of the neck, it is a lot thinner than the hair to the left of the nape of the neck. So I did not want to thin it down any more than was necessary. We're just going to blend and allow that area to grow out by just leaving it alone. So instead of using the shears to go through and clean up her hairline, I decided to use our Andes T outliner edgers. The outliner edgers can be used in conjunction with your shears, or you can use it as a standalone to help create that crisp line. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I do not like to use the edgers on the front of a woman's face because it gives a hard line. But when you have a client where you're trying to create an illusion of a hairline, you do have the option of using your actual edgers. Now, for the actual hairline itself, You want to be very careful not to carve too much out and not to give too blunt of a line. So you want to make it as soft as possible by just using the corner of your actual blade. Now in this area, be careful not to go too far in with your cut. If you're uncertain, just use your shears and it will work just the same. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button to my video. Don't forget to thumbs up and comment down below and tell me what you think of the end result. So we decided to try a little bit of color for her hair. So we did a ombre colored pack where it had blonde on the end, or you can call it 613. And then the roots were a shadow root or a darker tone, however you want to classify that. I kind of feel like this just gave her a lot of spunk. And if you think it gave her a lot of spunk, please don't forget to comment down below and tell us what you thought of the color and the cut. Now, I did not add too much of the hair in. I didn't want to give her too much fullness. I did want to appear as though it was her hair, even though we knew based on the color that it was not her hair. And I did use my razor comb to blend it in, where we used her actual natural hair in the top or in the crown itself to cover over the tracks. And then we put a little bit of our Elite Masket in the color black just to fill in the space. Now the spray that you just saw me spray is a little bit of our Elite Polish. This is a heat activated sheen that you can use for styling or finishing any style or cut. And then we went through and used our H2 Pro 3/10 of an inch flat iron. This is what you call a pencil flat iron. If you're not used to it, I wouldn't suggest you purchase this iron, only because it is really small. And if you're not used to curling with something so small, you could potentially burn yourself or overwork it. So I would say for at-home use to use more, say a 1/2 inch iron. Those are a lot easier to control for newbies, and they are easier to come across, as well as a lot cheaper as well. The 3/10 of an inch iron can run for a really good one about $150 or more. And then they do have those in the store that's a lot cheaper, which I hate them. I've tried them. They burn out quickly or they're too hot. I just don't like them. So yeah. Anywho, for her sides and back area, I just went through and bumped it slightly. Now the areas where I left her hair a lot longer for me to be able to mask her trouble, those areas I just applied a slight amount of heat just to silk it and straighten it out just a little bit better. But I was not going to actually curl those areas because I don't want to reveal her trouble areas. Now for the hair in the crown, I did use a 1-inch H2 Pro titanium iron. You can use titanium or ceramic. Keep in mind these are extensions, so that part doesn't really matter. And I just did some vertical partings just to give her a quick bump and apply some feathers or movement to the area. If you want the curls to be a little bit tighter, you definitely can curl tighter, or you can pin them and allow them to cool, and that'll give you a little bit more volume. But for what I was going for, I did not want it to be too tight. That's really by choice, okay? Now the tracks that are in her hair, they are glued in. When you're gluing in tracks for clients who have trouble areas, you definitely want to make sure that you are doing your absolute best to protect the hair. And if it's in between their actual hair, then you want to make sure that you use a thin strip of glue. This is not a style that is to last 9 years. It is to only last temporarily, okay? And then for her crown area, I applied a little bit of our masket in the color of dark brown just to fill in the space. I didn't want to make it really, really dark. I just wanted to fill in the area to give a little bit more contrast or a look of more density. And that was it. Now, from the look of her face, you can clearly tell that she absolutely loved it because she got a peek of it in the camera. Listen, this color and her eye color and her skin tone, it just blended in, guys. It just... yes, just yes, okay? Please comment down below and tell me if this is a yes moment for you too.